What's going on, everybody? Appreciate you tuning in. Well, that was that was rough. That was rough from the get go. Cardinals get really kind of abused today by Seattle, 44-22, and the game wasn't. It was not nearly as close as that would even suggest. It was 28-0, just right in the early parts of the second quarter, and it's about it's about the final nail in the coffin. That about does it here for the Cardinals. This is going to put them now at 3-6 on the year, and you look at the rest of the division, and it ain't great. I mean, they're chasing just about everybody. I know it was a rough one today for the 49ers, but the Rams still got to win. Obviously, Seattle gets the win there, and you're 4 games back with pretty much nothing to make you feel good about where you are. But that's kind of the side point now, because I don't know if you guys all saw this. Obviously, the ongoing question right now is what's going to happen with Kyler Murray? What is the future at quarterback for this franchise? They decide to go with Brissett the rest of the way, or at least for the next 4 weeks while they put Murray on the IR. And the reports come out that his camp is wanting to have conversations with Arizona about his future with the franchise. The belief is going to be that's going to come in the offseason. This tells me 2 things. One, this tells me we're not going to see Kyler Murray the rest of the year. There's no way at this point, if he wants to talk about his future of the franchise and he's saying he wants to focus on getting healthy, he's going to take the rest of the year and try and get actually healthy and then determine where he wants to be at that point. If Arizona wants to keep him, if he is going to be the guy that they want to roll with, or if he's going to be healthy going somewhere else. But he is done playing for Arizona this year. And to me, I don't think we see him take another snap with the Cardinals. I think that's it. The other half is clearly Brissett, even if you had the hot hand coming into this thing, he ain't the future of this franchise either. There is nobody there. The future quarterback of this franchise is not on the roster right now. Brissett, they end up making him throw it 44 times, which you ain't never going to win a game if Brissett's throwing it 44 times. Darnold only had to throw it 12 times, and at one point he was 10 of 11. Wildly efficient, just 46 carries. They didn't have to run a ton on offense, mostly because Brissett ends up giving up 2 fumbles. They get returned for touchdowns. 2 defensive scores is going to win you a lot of games. 44 points is going to win you a lot of games, but they end up really kind of a rough go of it. End up having 4 fumbles. They forced on Seattle and recovered 2 of them. Same deal for Arizona. They had 2 fumbles, but the ones they lost, both of them, a little bit bigger deal when they're able to go back the other way for a touchdown. So the question is, who is going to be the future quarterback for this team? The problem is, if you would have asked that question 7 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, the quarterback class coming out was supposed to be great. But they've had an awful year. And a lot of those guys are going to end up staying in college because the amount of money that they're making in college, it wouldn't make sense for them to come out this year. So a lot of those guys aren't going to be coming out next year. So I don't know where that leaves you, because then you're all of a sudden now are you finding a bridge quarterback? Does that mean Brissett is going to be a guy, or do you end up, Murray does have 1 more year after the season. Are you just basically saying rather than cutting him and eating some of that or trying to deal with the trade, you just let him play 1 more year, try and wait for the quarterback class after that? There's not a lot of great options when you don't know what you're going to do at quarterback. It's obviously the most important position in sports for a reason. And as frustrating and as bleak as the times are going to be looking for Arizona here in the near future, the good news is there is some resolution in the fact that they do know it's finally time for a reboot. They'd been stuck in this, I think we're good enough to compete, but we have to figure it out like we might if things fall our way. for years, and they just never did. They continually being just bad enough to miss playoffs, but not being bad enough that you're getting the draft pick to restart everything. Like, just good enough to convince yourself that it might be worth, like, continuing to do the same old thing and beating your head against the bush, and it just so the perk is that's over. At least they know now that it is full rebuild mode. The problem is you wish that this quarterback class coming out was doing a lot better than the way they look. So then it turns into, is there a bridge quarterback out there that maybe you want? Is it Mac Jones? Could you sign him? Is he worth it? There's just not a lot out there. And I don't, maybe you strike, gold on one of these kids coming out this year, but it looks like this year and next year are about to be tough seasons. But again, at least finally, it looks like they're turning the page on Kyler Murray. And the longer you stuck there and just kind of tried to ride it out, the more years you're going to waste with this franchise because he was never going to be a guy that could get them over the hump. What guy can? Who's coming out? I don't know. Doesn't look great. But there's a chance with some of those kids. There's not one with Kyler Murray. He's a gimmick quarterback that does some things that's entertaining, but for 7 years, he never was able to get anything of substance done with Arizona. And let's talk about the future. Well, his future is with another team. So it's going to be a tough year. It's going to be a tough run here for the next few weeks for Arizona. But start looking at draft boards. Start looking at teams that might be interested in trading for a Kyler Murray and kind of what you can maybe get for that. No one's going to trade you a young franchise quarterback, so the options are small. But maybe more draft picks. Maybe you just take your swings where you can find them. But the rebuild starts now for Arizona.